Okay, you're welcome to grade 10 mathematics, and we're still on chapter 2, formal geometry. We'll be looking at more questions under exercise 2C, taking into consideration isosceles triangle. So in our last class, we stopped solving on question D. So let's go to E and see what E has for us. So exercise. So let's see E. So in solving this, we need to get this. That's one option, but you don't even need to get this. Now remember that with this marker here, this will be N also. So using notation, as in diagram, using notation as in diagram, you're going to have that 2n, or let's start by saying n plus n will be equal to 144. What's the reason? Exterior angle of triangle. That's the reason. So 2n will be equal to 144, and n will essentially be equal to what? 72 degrees. So that settles that one. Please take note that when it comes to formal geometry, there's no particular method for solving. There are options. So what you can see will determine what you would do. So if you didn't use this option, just note that option as an added option for you. Now let's go to F. In F, you have this. And the whole of this is 160 degrees. So you are told to find C. How would you get C? You can't get C without putting this. This is X and this will be X. Why? Base angles of isosceles triangle. I see that. So using notation, as in diagram, okay, maybe I'll just go with the way I've been using it before. X is equal to Y, base angles of what? Isosceles triangle. And you need to solve. One of the good things about solving is that it gives you stamina. This aspect of maths requires stamina. So from here, you're going to have that. Remember that I was trying to get this. X plus 160 is equal to 180 degrees. Angle on, or angles on a straight line. So that will mean that X will be equal to 180 minus 160, and that is 20 degrees. So that's 20 degrees. So X already is equal to Y, and that will be equal to 20 degrees. So it means to get C now, there are two options. I can add everything equate it to 180, but I choose not to do that because there's an idea they are testing now. It means that Y plus C will be equal to 160 degrees. What's the reason? Exterior angle of triangle. So from here, 20 plus C will be equal to 160, and C will be equal to 160 minus 20. So your final answer becomes 140 degrees. So that settles question F. That will settle question F. So question G. That will settle question F. Let's see what happens in question G. In question G, we have this. I see that this is what the question of question this thing looks like, right? So remember we are told to look for U and V. Now, if this is U, this will also be U. So let me just call that X for purpose of solving. So using notation, as in diagram, comma, it means that X will be equal to U, and now because it is base angles of what? Isosceles triangle. So what does that give you? It means that what? X plus U will be equal to what? 56 degrees. What's the reason for that? Exterior angle of what? Triangle. The exterior angle of triangle is why that is equal. So it means that, well, remember we're looking for U. So it means that 2U, or let me start by saying U plus U is equal to 56, meaning that 2U is equal to 56 degrees, and U will be equal to 28 degrees. So if U is equal to 28 degrees, U plus V is equal to 180 degrees, angle on a straight line. So V will be equal to 180 minus U. What is U? 28. 180 minus 28 will give me 152 degrees. So the answer to that is 152 degrees. The other what? 52 degrees. Okay? Now that's for G. So let's go to H. Let's go to H. In question H, this is what you have. A, B, 126 degrees. So I'll put a letter here, call that one X, and I'll simply say, how do you see what they are testing? They are trying to test the knowledge of exterior angle. That's why when you watch problems being solved, try to understand the direction or the idea the examiner, or rather the instructor wants to, the objective. Try to understand the objective. There are different methods, but I think this is what the examiner, the instructor wants us to achieve. Using notations, as in diagram, comma, you're going to have that X plus 120 degrees will be equal to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line. So with that, X will now be 180 minus 126 degrees, and that will be 54 degrees. So that one is 54 degrees. That will be 54 degrees, right? Now, so we have gotten 54 degrees here. What is now B? We have gotten this one. So we need to look for A and we need to look for B. Now recall that, and maybe I'll call here Y. A is equal to Y, base angles of isosceles triangle. A is equal to Y. So with that said, X plus A plus Y is equal to 180 degrees. So what that means is that X plus what? Y plus Y. Okay, I didn't state the reason. Angle sum of triangle. So X plus Y is equal to 180. X plus 2Y is equal to 180. 2Y equal to X equal to 180 minus X. What is X? X in this setup is 54. So 2Y. Oh, in fact, there's even a shorter way to go about that one. I didn't even see it. So that's 2Y equal to 180 minus 54. So Y will be equal to 126 divided by 2, and that is 63. All right. There's a shorter way to go about that, but I didn't see that. Hence, I've already started with this. I'll just stick to it. Remember, what were we looking for, Seth? Oh, we're actually looking for A. All right, so A is equal to Y is equal to 63 degrees. All right, so we know A. How do we get B now? Y plus B will be equal to 180 degrees. What's the reason? Angle sum. Sorry, angle on a straight line. Angles on a straight line. That will mean that Y will be equal to what? Or rather, B will be equal to 180 minus Y. What is Y? 63. 180 minus 63 is equal to 117 degrees. So the answer to that is 117 degrees for H. So let's go to I. I hope you are checking what you've done and you are noting where you made a mistake. I. In question I, what you have is this. $25 MN. Right. Let me call here X or A because I need that information. And let me call here, I'm trying to look at which one will be. Okay, let me call here B, and let me call here C, no problem. Excuse me. Right. So looking at this, A, using notations as in diagram, using notations. As in diagram, comma, we have that A will be equal to 35 degrees. What's the reason? Base angles of isosceles triangle. So that's settled. Remember that what we are looking for is M and N. Let me see. We are looking for M and N. So I'm just trying to look at which method will be faster so I don't have to solve too much. Okay, let's solve. That's no problem. Sometimes in the exam, you may not really know what it holds for you to start solving. So MC will be equal to A plus 35. C will be equal to A plus 35. What's the reason for that? Exterior angle of triangle. C is equal to A plus 35. And remember that A is equal to 35, so that will be what? 35 plus 35, and that will be 70. So C is 70. So N is equal to C. The reason is that what? Base angles of what? Isosceles triangle. So that settles that one. So that will be give you what? 70 degrees. Now, one other thing you need to take note of is that M plus N plus C is equal to 180 degrees. And what's the reason for that? Angle sum of triangle. So angle sum of triangle will give you that. Right? So what else do we have there? That will mean that what is M? 70 plus what is N? We don't know. Plus what is C? 70 will give you 180 degrees. So N plus 140 will give you 180. And N will be equal to 180 minus 40. And the answer is what? 40 degrees. All right, so that settles that question. N is equal to 40 degrees. That's for question I. What about J? What about J? What about J? Let's look at J. Let's look at the diagram of J. In J, you have something similar to you have something very similar. You have something very similar there too. X 52 W. All right. All right, so we need to look for so let me call here A, let me call here B, and let me call here C. I may need it, I may not need it. So using notation as in diagram, using notations as in diagram, comma. What do you notice? B will be equal to 52 degrees base angles of isosceles triangle. The base angles of isosceles triangle. So that settles that. So it means that B plus 52 plus X is equal to 180 degrees. What's the reason? Angle sum of triangle. So that is 52 plus 52 plus X equal to 180. X plus 104 is equal to 180 degrees. X will be equal to 180 minus 104, and that will give you 76 degrees. So I've gotten X. I've gotten X. So we can get we can get C. C is equal to 52 plus B, exterior angle of triangle. So C will now be equal to 52 plus 52, which will give you 104 degrees. So C is 104 degrees. Although there's another way we would have gotten that, would have just said angle on the straight line. That's interesting thing with this aspect of maths. There's no particular method. There are options. What exists in this area of maths are options. Options you can use. So I've gotten C to be that. So remember that A is equal to W. What's the reason? Base angles of isosceles triangle, right? So that said, it means that C plus A plus W will be equal to 180 degrees. Angle sum of triangle. That's what that will be. So with that settled, it means that C plus 2W is equal to 180 degrees, meaning that 2W will be equal to 180 minus C. What is C? 180 minus 104, and that will give you 76. And W will be equal to what? 76 divided by 2, and that will be 38 degrees. So with that, we are cleared with question 1 of the problem. Okay, so let's go to question 4. Maybe I'll take a different turn. I'll try to sketch the diagrams out for you, and I'll expect it's an isosceles triangle X, Y, Z. Just draw the triangle X, Y, Z. The angle at X is 117 degrees. That means these two angles must be equal. That's what they mean. Noticing, sometimes common sense can apply here. The sum of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So there is no way to have two angles of this size. If it will go above what? 180. So by common sense, we know that this is what the diagram should look like. So that's for question 4. So question 5. The base JK. Now you are told the base is JK of an isosceles triangle HJK. JK, HJK is produced to L. Now when they say JK, you can produce a line out to L. Good. If the angle at J is what? 69 degrees. This is isosceles, so that's what it will mean. They are told to find HKL. So this is what they want you to find. Let me call it A. That's what they want you to find. Here, they want you to find Z. So let me call it B. Or let me call it X. Let me use X so that X will just be a uniform thing for all they are looking for. All right, that's for question 5. So let's solve that. Question 6. So in case your diagram was wrong, please correct that. ABC is an isosceles triangle with base BC. That one is clear. BC. With what? Base BC. So that means this is the part produced to what? D. The angle at A is 75. Calculate ACD. That's what they want you to look for. Let me confirm. Please confirm to me by chart if these are the diagrams you have. Are these the diagrams you have? If yes, then you are on course to solving the problem correctly. All right, so for this one, if this is X, this will also be X, meaning that angle Z is equal to angle Y. What's the reason? Base angles of what? Isosceles triangle. Right, so we can now say that X plus 117 is equal to what? 180 degrees. Angle sum of triangle. Are you with me? So with that said, 2x plus 117 will be equal to 180, and x will be equal to 180 minus 117 divided by 2. And that will give me 63 divided by 2, and that will be 31.5 degrees. So that settles that one. For this, I want to look for this angle x. How can we get that? Now, take note that this angle and these two angles will be equal. So, using notation as in diagram, I forgot to write that here too. Using notations as in diagram, comma, using notation as in diagram, 69 is equal to, or rather A is equal to 69 degrees, meaning that A is equal to 69 degrees are base angles of isosceles triangle, right? So from here, A plus X will be equal to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line. So which means that X will be equal to 180 minus A, and that will be 180 minus 69, which is equal to 111 degrees. All right, that's where we'll stop for today, and we'll trust to continue tomorrow from here.